I think there's a lot of good answers for why we're the best at what we do. I think it's really about the technology. We're a Silicon Valley startup. We've had a technology background for many years, and we've built technology for God knows how long. And we got into the space very early on. We were the first one on Google to do real-time bidding. We were the first one in AppNexus, the first one in PubMatic. We've debugged most of the real-time bidding systems out there, and we've bet early on real-time bidding, and that's really paid off for us.
And Targus chose you.
Well, Targus is a great company, and they're a great partner.
That's a pretty big deal, isn't
We like them a lot. They're pretty awesome
CPM
folks.
Advisors.
Yeah, Rob.
Are they competitors?
Yeah, to a certain
you
extent.
could also go to them first and they'll work you through.
Yep.
Or is there a way you could y'all could work together and be partners in a way?
So CPM Advisors and us, we do similar things. We figure out how to buy media and do it in a targeted and highly efficient ROI-driven way.
He explains it really kind of cool. It's like we're like you could go directly to NASDAQ and buy, or you can go through Schwab.
Yeah.
We're Schwab.
Yeah.
So is that a good example of kind of what?
No, we like to think of ourselves as sort of the high frequency traders that are algorithmically driven, doing very, very complicated media buying. We're
not just the Schwab, which is kind of like for the mom and pa.
Yeah, we deal with some of the biggest advertisers in the web, and they drive significant amounts of volume through us, and they use a lot of data in that process, and there's a lot of math in that.
So I'm not asking you to be negative about a competitor, but can you give me kind of an idea of what y'all might do similar and what you might do differently?
Yeah. So Rob and the CPM Advisors was originally built on top of Right Media, which is not a real-time exchange. It's a very different exchange environment that uses very different interfaces and does very different things. And they've had a lot of great success in that area, and
it's a good partnership.
They've done well there. We only bid on the real-time exchanges, and for a long time the real-time exchanges were very small, and they only recently have become what they are. And that's really our key differentiation point, is that we have played in a very different sort of set of technology, a very different set of capabilities, very different set of exchanges. Rob has started to experiment with real-time bidding, from what he tells me, but the way Rob works with CPM Advisors is that they actually send in instructions into Right Media, and they basically say, very complex instructions. They say, when you see an impression that fits these criteria, that's a great impression for us. We'd like to buy that ad if we have an opportunity to, if that shows up. But Right Media is functionally making that decision.
Okay,
in
cool.
in a real-time bidding environment, what would happen is we're past that, and we look at that and we make that decision. And so it lets you do a lot of really powerful things with working with data, frequency capping. There's a lot of really powerful things that can happen as a result.
It's pretty amazing, really.
I hope so.
It's kind of like, it seems nearly like a terminal technology. It's like, what is past this? Is there going to be somebody else that then plugs into you and makes it even? Is yours pretty complicated still? Or could there be maybe someone like nearly a CPM could plug into you and make it even easier for the yo-yo?
I'm sure there's somebody who's going to make it even better than we made it, but for now our stuff is really easy. I think the best way to think about it is it's very similar to search engine marketing. When Google first came out and everyone was figuring it out, it was a great new opportunity and a brand new channel, and it created amazing opportunities for everybody in the space. And the reason because of that was that all of the search was in one place, and there was some good enabling technology to make it possible to really scale and to extract value. And display advertising for a long time has been very fragmented. It hasn't been possible, but now it's finally coming to fruition where you can do some powerful things. And so for all of us, it's a great opportunity. I think you're going to see over the next year, you're going to see publishers making more money because they have more people bidding on their inventory on every impression, and there's much more efficiency there. I think you're going to see advertisers finding new channels and driving new revenue and volume. And I think as the end result, we're going to see an industry that goes from being pretty small and for a lot of people pretty frustrating to being big and successful in a high growth industry. So I think it's going to be a very exciting year for everybody.
That's cool. What about the $400 billion that's just waiting to splash over from the offline side? Are you keeping your eye on that?
Yeah, I think that's where a big part of that chunk comes in. I mean, if you think about, especially for those guys who are the brand advertisers, if you think about what the media buying and planning and reporting process is like in the status quo, it's very time consuming, very frustrated. I mean, when you have thousands of people that you potentially could buy from, and you need to buy from a lot of them in order to get the kind of reach that you want, and no ability to manage frequency across all those folks, and a whole bunch of other problems that are very particular to brand advertisers. I think it's frustrating, and I think this opportunity that's come as a result to solve those problems, it's going to mean a lot of them suddenly like, oh, I can put my money online and do it efficiently, and I think that's a big deal.
Yeah, I think I used to be in the space, and I read Ad Age every day, and I believe if it works like you say it works, this is the solution to the major ad agencies. Why else would someone buy a spot for 400 grand on Grey's Anatomy when 83% of those spots are being skipped over? It's because they make a good chunk of commission, and it's easy. They just make a call and it's done.
Yeah.
They can now make that call to you.
Yeah, yeah.
They can say, we have 400,000, move it from there to there, you'll run it, you'll find it, you'll send them a report at the end of the month that says this is who saw it.
End of the
turn
day.
it into the brand, and they'll pay them.
Yep.
And they don't have to go find 1,200 guys, decide whether it ran or not, see what sites it ran on.
I think you should be sitting in my chair, and I should be sitting in your chair. You're telling the story right there. That's exactly what it is. It's a big
Well, that's
deal.
what they've been looking for.
I think the ad agencies were out in front of this for a long time. They were the ones talking about this a year ago before the enabling technology had really started to mature, and they've been pushing this ball forward. And they deserve a lot of credit, and I think they have a lot of they've done a lot to make this happen.
So I asked CPM advisors about this, and he said they're really pushing this area. If you were he was a media buyer before, but if you were a young media buyer and you wanted to really build up your clientele and you knew about this, wouldn't you just come to you, say, teach me everything about it, and go to to Madison Avenue and just sell the hell out of this?
So there's a guy, I don't know how old he is. Greg works for MDC Partners, the Varick Media Management. They're the next generation media buying firm out of MDC. Got hired maybe a year ago. Young guy. He knows more about this space than anybody. He probably knows more than I do. What I've seen over the last year is the knowledge that he's developed as a result of sitting in this space and doing what he's doing, and really learning is really valuable. And I think one thing that's sad, but is also a great opportunity, is that there are a lot of media buyers and planners who do a lot of busy work. They collate reports, they send out RFPs. That's all gone. That whole part of the business is
really sad.
Is gone. I think at the end of the day, for this show, for all the people here, it's about another channel. It's about giving them the opportunity to build a business around another channel and bring all of their insights and data and hard work. I mean, we're a small part of the total process in the lead gen process, from identifying the right people.
User interface.
Well, we are an enabling technology. We enable these guys to run their businesses and scale them and make a lot of money. And so, I mean, at the end of the day, this is called LeadsCon. It's not called,
Exactly.
DSPCon.
So
and we're here to support them.
So how do you make your money?
So we get paid as a percentage of spend. We're completely...
Same as CPM advisor?
Yep.
20% negotiable down with volume?
Sure.
I mean,
it's on a case-by-case basis.
Okay, so you don't even have a number you throw out?
We don't throw out a number.
Because basically you're just paying back your technology. You really don't have an out-of-pocket cost. So whether you buy, 1 million impressions for me or 10 million, your cost is the same.
Yeah, roughly.
Roughly.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, it sounds fantastic.
Thank you very much. Appreciate the time.